This podcast is brought to you by Most Valuable Podcasts, saving your day from boredom with the best podcasting entertainment.
What's up, real MVPs, Ricky Widmer here, along with fellow man-child Johnny Karlic. And Johnny, I will say, when we do have these podcasts where, because of technical difficulties, in this one, a table being, destructed, and not being able to use our tripod, I still point like there's a camera in the corner of our room looking at us. I say, what's up, real MVPs, and I'm still pointing to that camera even though it's not there. An audio podcast, so even if you're on YouTube, audio only for the Rick and Johnny podcast this week. Welcome in, though. This is where we talk about everything under the two nerdy sons, Johnny and myself, here on MVP. Got a jam-packed show for you guys. And before we get into everything, I do want to go into the reason why we do not have video today. Is how we usually do it is our tripod. We got a little tiny one. And we put it up on a table, put it in the corner, put it up on a table. Well, our table destructed, Johnny. Like, our leg has been broken for quite a while. But I guess from what I heard, the leg completely fell off.
Oh, good.
And the table is now in the trash.
That's always a good thing. Legs falling off, yeah.
We have a new tripod
totally
coming.
Helps.
It will be here tomorrow. We will be the only podcast affected by this news or by this tragedy of our table. It was a good table. We should have an in memoriam for the table, and we'll have burial services later this week. But jam-packed show for the Rick and Johnny podcast. It's a full Avengers MCU podcast. We're going to be talking about Avengers 4 back-to-back, two big things coming out with that. We could be getting a trailer at the end of November, but by the end of 2018, Kevin Feige said we will have an Avengers 4 trailer. Then we... What, you giving me the face?
End of 2018. No, to end of 2018, it's like you guys have 4 months to get a movie out at that point.
Well, they're Marvel. They don't need... We're going to go see it.
You're right.
Why am I arguing?
I'm sorry. Like, I go general movie mode.
You're the one that came up with the idea. Don't show us a trailer. Don't show us a title. Did. Just white screen for 2 minutes. That's your trailer. White screen and said, see ya on blank.
Not even see ya, just Avengers.
Yeah. And then the date. That's it.
That's right. I did say that
That's
before.
all you need, and we'll go to it.
But still, I'm just thinking, like, you have 4 months till your movie comes out. Why even put a trailer out at that point?
But we are going to talk about...
Unless you're DC, where you have to promote it that hard.
Yeah. Well, I mean... Hey, they're promoting hard. Shazam looks good. Aquaman looks good.
And I'm not
crossing my fingers that they are good.
Not saying anything about that. It's just you guys have some making up to do.
Yeah,
I mean, bashing DC. I'm just pointing out.
We're putting our past behind us.
I'm not bashing DC. I'm just pointing out the obvious.
Yeah, we're putting the dog turd, which was BVS, behind us, and Zack Snyder is not going to touch a DC film for the foreseeable future. But we're talking about a leaked
we have a restraining order
for Avengers 4. We're also going to be talking about news that Catherine Langford, she was in 13 Reasons Why, she has been cast to play a mystery character in Avengers 4. So like we did with Peter Dinklage last year for Avengers Infinity War, we're going to do the same thing with Langford, kind of talk about who she could be playing. And then we're going to end the show with, there was news from Kevin Feige. He was at like an award show, I think, for the PGA, and he said that they do have plans for Namor in Phase 4, but what are they going to be? We're going to decide how we would introduce Namor into the MCU. Before we get into everything, though, a little bit of housekeeping for you. First off, if you want to support the channel, Most Valuable Podcast, make sure to check us out on Patreon. That link is down below in the description. You can join us at the $10 tier, then join any podcast you want, talking about the topic you want each and every month. You are at that tier. You can also support us by getting yourself an MVP t-shirt. You can get that down below in the description or at mostvaluablepodcast.com, where you can catch MVP each and every day. And then last but not least, make sure to go onto iTunes, rate all the MVP podcasts, but more importantly for us, go and rate the Rick and Johnny podcast, because, Johnny, what I've been doing on other podcasts is right now when I promote this, I go on to my iTunes podcast app and I see how many ratings each show has. The Rick and Johnny podcast, I don't know if this is good or bad, because it's good because we haven't had a bad one, but it's bad because we haven't had a good one. We have 0 ratings. I want to change that.
What?
I want to change that. Rate the podcast. Please give us a 5-star, but if you think we deserve a 4-star, that's fine. You can give us a 4-star too, and then let us know what you think of the podcast as well. It would really, really help us out so other people know what they're getting and would like to check out the podcast. But Johnny, what we have to go into first, and I feel like I've been talking a lot at the beginning, and it's not going to stop because this trailer description is quite long. We had a trailer description come out, or a leaked trailer description come out on Reddit about what we could be getting for the Avengers 4 trailer.
No, it's going to be nothing and just...
That's what we've decided.
White with black lettering, or black with white lettering would actually be really...
I like the black with white lettering.
I like that better too.
And unless you go white with black lettering, because the white screen, that fits more with the snapshot, because when he snapped, the screen went white.
I guess you could do that.
So that's what
we already saw after the snapshot, so...
Yeah, but I mean, that would... We're going thematic, Johnny, but what we have here is a long description. We're going to read it, and I say we're because at the beginning there's a Thanos line. I'm going to let you do the Thanos lines in your Thanos voice, and then I will read everything else.
Oh,
so
thanks.
I'm going to let you start with the Thanos line because it starts out with Thanos.
My destiny is not yet fulfilled.
A shot of a battered Tony looks as though he is still on Titan, confused.
Greater threats arise. To undo the balance, I lost everything to achieve, and I will not be undone.
Shot of Banner and Cap with Vision on a table fades in and out. Shot of Quill's ship lifting off, fades. Tony, Fury was right. He's talking to somebody out of view in some type of normal house. This might be Aunt May. He's glossy-eyed, and the dialogue is spoken over the prior screen. Not actually what he's saying. He was right since day one. Black screen. Tony. Scene of him in some sort of garage-looking place in front of 3 different suits. They seem pretty normal. None are the one that was leaked. He has the housing unit in his hands. I'll do whatever it takes so that never happens again. Black screen. Tony in shield gear. He's walking towards the camera with soldiers behind him. Shot of Ant-Man standing in the quantum realm. Cuts to him surrounded by 3 pteragrades. He's running, then stops at a green portal type thing. Fades to a shot of Scott in street clothes, gray shirt, jeans, and a jean jacket. Scott, I think I might have a way to help. Not sure who he's speaking to, or if this is even the real dialogue, LOL, but doesn't look like it matches. Shot of an empty throne in Wakanda, various shots of Suri, M'Baka, and Okoye. Black screen. This was not our fight. Shuri and Okoye couldn't tell. Screen still black. Shot of Cap standing arms crossed with Rhodey, Rocket, and Thor in a room that looks like it's still Wakanda. Cap, we need to make this right. Banner, Cap, we don't even know where to start. Thanos is gone. He won. Thor, well, then he better get to work. Then we better get to work. Shot panning down slowly of the pager Fury had in someone's hands. I'm almost 100% certain it's in Tony's hands. A shot of Rhodey suiting up very briefly from the knees up to the crotch area. It's not nanotech, but looks more or less exactly how Star-Lord's masks materialize with a Thor voiceover. Are you ready for this? Rocket. Well, if I'm not, black fades into Rocket, music silences. What more can I lose? Bifrost shot with Thor, War Machine, and Rocket. Various shots, Gauntlet, still damaged. being reached for. Shot of Nebula, looks like in the same place Tony was earlier. And then shot of Banner, black screen. Thor, we need an army to stand against Thanos. A shot of Thanos putting on armor. Yours is the only one formidable enough to give us a chance. Shot of Thanos wielding a big double-edged sword. So I ask of you, various shots of Black Widow, brief shot of Tony's suit, Cap's new chest piece, chainmail, and Banner putting on a purple skin-tight suit and a button-up over it in front of a mirror, fades to Thor. Will you help us? More various shots, including a broken gauntlet on the ground as someone, clearly Thanos, is walking away. Same aesthetic and scenery as the one when it's being reached for. I think he throws it on the ground. It's been a while since I've been on Earth. Music is getting louder as it crescendos to a shot of Captain Marvel's chest panning up to her face. The scenery behind her almost looks like Xandar because it can't be Earth. That would make no sense. But it's blue skies and clouds outside a window. Captain Marvel, let's go. Shot of her flying towards something angrily. She cocks back a punch. Eyes glowing, flames surround her. She punches, then title card as Avengers theme plays. However, it doesn't actually have anything. It's just a blank screen with music. Post-theme cutaway stinger, Rocket in a rolling chair, looking at a few computer screens, has on this cool white-ass bodysuit. Rhodey, I've seen a lot of crazy things, but a talking raccoon, Rocket looks up at him from the chair, definitely tops them all. Rocket going from Rhodey back to the computer screen sarcastically, boy, if I had a unit every time I heard that one, cuts to a Thor smiling with an off-cue ha ha ha. And that is our trailer. It was very long. It was a very long description of our trailer. Before we get into the nitty-gritty with this, Johnny, what are your thoughts of this if this is the trailer that we get?
I want to know what army he's trying to amass. Who is he asking?
Because
that's the biggest
thing. Is he
thing.
talking to Captain Marvel then?
That's what I'm wondering. If he's talking to Captain Marvel, does that mean he's talking to the Kree?
Maybe.
Because so apparently he needs an army to go against Thanos. Mm-hmm. And the bad part is, in this point in time, Thor can know freaking anyone. Mm-hmm. He's been around the galaxy so much.
But I'm going to say he doesn't. Does he know who Captain Marvel is? Because if he knew, he could just say, oh, we'll get her.
Well, here's the thing. It could be like
he might know of the Kree. Like I know of.
He might be talking to someone of the Kree. He could be like, oh, Tony found it because the person said it looked like Tony's hands most of all. Mm-hmm. So let's just assume it's Tony.
Yeah.
Tony finds it, brings it back, says, Thor, you're the one who can. You guys need to find who this is.
Yeah.
Because this was like, maybe it was like GPS. Mm-hmm. Tony can do all this shit. GPS tracked the last place they found Fury or Fury's car. Mm-hmm. Found that thing. It's like, this is the last thing Fury had. I know this because I found it right behind his car.
Yeah. And I mean, that's the thing. Like earlier in the trailer.
I'm curious, what army? Because I'm like, he could be asking the Frost Giants for help. Mm-hmm. Surtur's dead, so it's not Surtur. He could be asking the Kree. Probably not the Skrull because that's more of an enemy thing. But I'm gonna get those are my top two.
Your thing is gonna be the Kree.
I'm wondering if it's the Kree.
Here's the other thing I'm gonna throw out there. I'm not saying it's gonna be this, but how the trailer said the scenery almost looks like Xandar.
Yeah.
What if they used time travel, whatever MacGuffin they're going to use?
Could be that too.
What if they went back in time before Thanos killed off the Nova Corps and was like, hey, we need you. We need the Nova Corps. We can't have you be dying here. But then that changes everything to where it's like, okay, if that happens, he doesn't get the Power Stone. Then
or he
happens.
Does because he pulled away and he just got it that much easier, excuse me.
Mm-hmm. And maybe, we don't know, maybe there's something of the Nova Corps that survived. I mean, yeah, we know that we didn't see it happen.
It doesn't mean the Nova Corps not there. It just means Xandar's not there.
Exactly. It's a very off-screen kind of thing to where we didn't...
It was very off-screen.
Since we didn't see it happen, there might have been a few survivors of that. I would say
like outposts, honestly.
I would say there has to be a few survivors, or if not, the Nova isn't there, because they've talked about in the future doing a Nova movie. How do you do a Nova movie if he's dead?
Yeah, there's got to be something somewhere for Nova to have a movie then. That's my top two choices, because I'm like running through different groups in the galaxy, and those are my top two, but it's like, shit, it could be anyone.
Yeah.
But I think to be honest, I think the Kree would probably be the most promising army. I don't think it could be the Sovereign. I really don't.
No. Well,
I mean, they are introduced though.
I don't think they would add the Sovereign into this, because I don't think we're going to get the Sovereign until they're ready to give us Adam Warlock.
I agree. It's just the reason I brought them up is because like he's begging them for help. And it's like, well, that could be the Sovereign, because no, you're connected with the Guardians. Screw you. We should probably just execute. We should execute you now. But I think the Kree would be the one that would go. They don't care about anyone except Kree law.
I'm not going to say this is it, but this would be a holy shit moment.
Huh?
What if Thor went to Hela? We know Hela's alive. She didn't die at the end of Ragnarok.
True. We don't know if she died.
What if she has, in this time since Ragnarok, she has an army now, and Thor is like, hey, I hate to do this, but I need you, sister. I need you to help us.
That would be an interesting one.
And he's got to go, and maybe that's not it, because it's hard with this. It's hard also, like, is he talking to Captain Marvel, or is that like a scene after? That's the hard part about just a text description of this. But that could be another thing, because we do know that Hela they've said that she is still alive.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
I didn't see that one.
Because I know there were rumors of her popping up in a future movie.
Really?
Kate Blanchett popping up and stuff. No, the part of this that was my absolute favorite was the part where it says, various shot. You get Black Widow. You get a shot of Tony's suit. The one that shocked me, because I was reading this for you guys listening. This was the first time I read this. Like I didn't pre-read this, because I wanted this to be my first reaction of what we're getting. Cap's new chess piece, and to see in it, parentheses, chainmail. That means we're going that far. Are we going that far back in time? Is it just going to be a chainmail piece of armor?
I think what they're talking about when they say chainmail is his old, like they're going based off the old-fashioned suit.
Yeah.
The original, like
the blue is more like
the chainmail.
Yeah.
So I think they may be doing like heavier armor, because they pointed out too that in Infinity Wars, that like the ripped pieces underneath it looks sort of like the old chainmail. Yeah. They must be going with the like.
Well, because it's Thanos, you need something that's
he's
going to
need heavy duty. But that's the cool part, is like maybe they're going based off of the one of the older iterations of the suit, where the whole blue top part was all chainmail, or like technically it's scale mail was what it was.
Yeah.
But maybe they're going to make it a chainmail style.
That to me,
because that's
like,
that's awesome
crap.
though. I mean, but that means it's heavy duty fight coming up.
Here's the other thing,
and I don't blame it. I'm just want to throw that out there.
Here's the other thing that pumps me up, is when you see also the one right after that, and Banner putting on a purple suit and a button up in front of the mirror. The thing I want most from this movie is what we've talked about before in the past in a theory. I want Professor Hulk. It doesn't have to be exact Professor Hulk, but I want it to be where Banner and Hulk have worked it out to where we get Hulk talking normally.
Yeah, what if we get
Not like this broken English that we got in Ragnarok, where it was kind of an introduction to, all right, Hulk is He's
starting to be able to talk almost
exactly.
normal.
I want it to be where
Hulk
it's
always
like,
Hulk.
Exactly. I want it to be more kind of straight, like, okay, I can actually intellectually hold conversations.
What if it's,
Hulk.
and not saying he's in there at all, what if they make a throw to Doc Samson?
Maybe.
To say, hey, Hulk and I have worked through this finally, because thanks to Doc Samson starting off, hey, he's in the universe. Yeah. And I just saw of another army, possibly. I'm just throwing it out there. Something you and I talked about earlier before the podcast, just in conversation. What Namor has an army.
Oh my God. I'm not. We're gonna get to Namor later.
We are.
I don't think they add him in this movie.
I just don't know who has the intellectual properties at the moment. I'm just saying that's another army I just thought of.
I'm trying to think. Like that army thing is like who could
that
it be?
is bothering me the most.
Who could it be? Like
because a lot of these scenes are cool and make the most sense.
It didn't bother me until basically you brought it up.
I want to know who the fucking army is.
But no, this is like
and how Ant-Man gets out of the quantum realm.
Yeah, there's that. Maybe
he could have just jumped into something.
I can't wait to see that. Like actually see it because the part where it's like he's in the quantum realm and then he's surrounded and then he runs through a green portal. I just want to visually see that. Because I think that would be cool.
I didn't know Rick and Morty were part of this.
What if that green portal he jumps through it and he's like, fuck, like this isn't okay, I'm home, and then he's looking around. What's going on here? I feel like I'm not in the right time.
Yeah, what if it's he jumped the green one just like it's either I get eaten by the tardigrades or I jump through this. Well, screw it, jumps in. It's just like I don't want to say luck, but it kind of sends him back to like.
I'm saying a different time, like a different.
I don't want to say that because he just somewhere in there say he could possibly help.
Exactly. What if this is because for Scott, think about where he was.
Honestly, it could be time travel, no matter what.
True.
Because he could have been in there for what?
You're right. What it probably is he was just in there so long. He pops out. It's the future from where he was when he went in the quantum realm and got stuck there. Well, no, he was in there for the snapshot.
He was in there for the snapshot. Yeah. What I'm trying to say is time basically is like it's time dilation, or there's like basically just say there's no time there.
Yeah.
Well, but you age somehow. So maybe he was in there for what was months. Jump through the green thing because tardigrades come after him. Pops back to literally right after the snapshot. So yeah, there's some time dilation.
True.
So he's like, he knows he's been in there for months. But then he jumps through. It's like, wait, I'm back to right after where Van Dyne and Pym and I forgot his daughter's name at the moment.
Wasp.
Let's go with that. Wasp. Are all just like gone from the stuff. It's like he probably would crack a joke like, they left me.
Yeah. Where did they go?
What the hell? Thinking
man?
nothing of the dust on the ground if there's any still sitting there.
Yeah. And I mean, there is a lot in this too.
There's a lot to take in.
The other part to me that I am curious to see is the shot of the empty throne in Wakanda. And because we know what we think M'Baka is going to take the throne, because we know for sure that Shuri is not going to be Black Panther.
Yeah.
Like while T'Challa's gone, he won't. Like M'Baka is going to be the one that takes the throne. The only thing is, the question me with that is, do they have him turn on? Is it like a Killmonger situation where they use him to set up the Black Panther 2 movie where it's like, okay, he's going to turn on T'Challa in Black Panther 2 after all this conflict is
maybe
over.
At first he takes it because like Wakanda needs a leader,
but then the power goes to his head.
The power goes to his head, so I think
he's like, wait a second, I kind of like this.
Well, maybe it's like
once you get that taste and
let me
you get that Reese's and you're like, ooh, I want another one, Johnny.
Throw something at you.
I want another one. Another one. Don't throw anything at me. Go ahead.
So my thought would be like he does it for the greater good at first, and then after everything gets fixed in Avengers 4, he's still sitting on the throne like, no, you technically died. You were gone. I took over. I took care of our people. You are no longer king.
Yeah, and that could be everything that happens after he comes back. Also, how sad is it going to be if Tony is talking to Aunt May?
Oh, God.
Like, actually seeing Tony...
We're bringing tissues.
When Tony comes back...
Glossy-eyed.
He's got to tell Aunt May that Peter is gone.
Glossy-eyed. They described it as glossy-eyed Tony Stark.
He's talking to someone out of view, in some type of normal house. This might be Aunt May. He's glossy-eyed, and the dialogue is spoken over the prior scene.
It's like, no. No.
Aunt May's going to get crushed.
Yeah.
She's going to fall. She's going to hate him, I think.
She's going to hate Tony.
She's going to blame Tony.
She's going to blame Tony.
Because it's going to be like just the typical, you said you'd watch him. You said...
It's like, this is your fault.
Mm-hmm.
He was not... if it weren't for you, he wouldn't be put in this situation.
And that's going to make Tony feel like shit because Tony told him to not come.
Yeah, he did.
He told him to stay home, and Peter was Peter.
We all know it would have happened anyways.
Yeah.
If the snap happened, it was chosen at random, and Peter probably would have been one of the ones chosen anyways.
Yeah, but then Aunt May wouldn't have blamed
Tony. Yeah, but there's a blame to be put now, so which is why I get it. She blamed him, but we all know, well, some of us know that it's not necessarily Tony's fault. But of course, Tony's going to take it to heart.
Yeah, because that's what Tony does.
Every time.
Oh man!
Now apparently he's taking over S.H.I.E.L.D. It seems maybe.
Well,
we get Tony.
Fury's gone.
Fury's gone. What's her name is gone. Maria Hill. Coulson is technically dead.
Yeah.
Unless you watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
I didn't even think about that. Him in the S.H.I.E.L.D. suit. Is that Tony? Because in the comics, I think it was Civil War.
Civil War, he takes over S.H.I.E.L.D.
He takes over S.H.I.E.L.D.
He's head of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Because he was talking to, in the comics, he was talking to Peter Parker about revealing your identity.
Exactly,
and then Peter Parker was the first to unmask in the comics.
Exactly. So, I mean, it's going to be cool kind of to see like that throwback to the comics where he does take over. I don't want to say takeover because it sounds like it's a hostile takeover.
No, but
he becomes the head of S.H.I.E.L.D.
He does what he... Kind of like M'Baka in Wakanda, he does the same thing.
Yes and no.
There needs to be a leader of S.H.I.E.L.D. Tony steps up.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. Tony steps up. But I mean, when I say he takes over, it sounds more hostile.
Yeah, he's not doing it in that way.
No, he's not.
That's why I say kind of like M'Baka, because M'Baka's not dethroning anyone. There just needs to be a king.
Exactly. Someone needs to step up and lead their people.
I also can't wait for the dynamic of... I want to see it on screen. The dynamic of it looks like we're going to get Groot, Rocket, Thor, and Rhodey. Like, that's going to be a group. Because they already have the Thor where he's like...
Did you say Groot?
Oh, no, he got snapped away. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Like,
Rocket, Rhodey, and Thor.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting mix.
I said Groot because, I forgot, and Rocket's there, Groot's there. But, like, even just the part where Thor is like, are you ready for this? And just Rocket, well, if I'm not, and then boom, Bifrost.
Throw back to what Thor said before. What do I have to lose?
What do I have to lose?
Well, now that Rocket locks Screw, it's like, well, what do I have to lose? Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, that's right, because he says, I forgot that was the next line.
Are you up for this particular murder mission?
Or, are you ready for this? Well, if I'm not, it pauses, black fade to Rocket, the music cuts, and the line finishes, what more could I lose? An exact throwback.
Exactly.
To what you just said.
Yeah. You are welcome.
Oh, man, like...
This is why I'm your Marvel guy.
Oh, this is...
all this shit that I remember.
Now I can't...
That very useful shit instead of
now I can't wait
math.
Now I want the trailer. I just want the trailer today.
I do.
Like, that's all I want.
I want it, but I also still want my black screen. That's just kind of you get nothing until the movie.
Oh, man. To me, like...
This is just a huge teaser.
I wasn't as hyped for this coming in because maybe it was because I didn't read it. And, of course, I didn't want to read it until now because I wanted the first general
So, I think you
reaction.
and I probably were on the same page when we read... Like, same page when you and I read that beginning part as if he were talking to Tony, right? Where my destiny is not yet fulfilled. No. That's what my first thought was. Now describing the rest of this, in that it is up against, they're still up against Thanos. I think there was just like two separate scenes bouncing back and forth, like they do in movies to make it seem like it's one scene.
Here was my first thought when Thanos' line goes, "My destiny is yet fulfilled."
Not yet fulfilled.
Greater threats arise to undo the balance. I lost everything to achieve. And I will not be undone. Is the greater threat, is he talking about the Avengers? Or is there going to be a third party that we don't know about where it's basically going to be, think about it with nature. if you have one thing that's dominating the region and then it goes to extinct, this new species comes in and kind of takes over.
It could be that.
Because Thanos might have weakened the human race to where...
Well, not even human, like half the galaxy.
Where this new thing is going to come in and try to inhabit the Earth. I don't think they add that, but like, what if it is a non-Avengers type of threat? Your eyes got big. What are you thinking? Your eyes got big to where there was either something behind me, like a bug, and if there was, don't tell me, or you had an idea.
Oh, it's just a spooky ghost.
Okay.
So this ties in a lot of different things now. So we got, and they can't see it, so I'll just be showing you. There's Thanos and his shit right here. The Avengers and their shit. Possibly a third party. So we got this Avengers thinking they need to attack Thanos and his army. We've got, what if that third party and the Avengers new movie is an Avengers Annihilation, because Annihilus, half the universe is gone. Annihilus sees this is my chance to, as a hostile takeover from my realm or whatever the hell it is.
And in the one that I saw, this was Emergency Awesome did the same thing. He said in the description that he saw, the title card did say Annihilation. Or that because this one just says that it title card, and it literally says title card. In his, Annihilation was the title. We don't know if it's a title.
True, it could not be.
I mean, there's that picture of just A. It's just A's. That's all it is. Not even Avengers, just A's.
My other thing is more that would be cool. The other one I'm thinking is it's Thanos and his army and his greatest threat, because he realizes, well, I snapped and did half the universe, but I now, because he has all the power stones, which means he has, if they go comic book canon, he has universal knowledge. Yeah. Which means he knows the Avengers are amassing their groups and figuring out what to do next. They're amassing an army. And then it could be like I said, that beginning thing could be just a cut like back and forth. It doesn't mean he's talking to Tony. He's just like talking and knows that like he's gearing up, and that like beating and a confused shot of a battered Tony is literally right after. On Titan, right after Avengers 1. So, or Avengers Infinity War. Thank you. Avengers 1. That'd be weird. Yeah, right after Infinity War. He was still beaten and battered on Titan with Nebula, was it, right? Yeah. So
because Doctor Strange is gone, Peter's gone. Well, you got Quill and Parker.
I know.
They're both gone. Drax is gone.
Mantis is gone.
It was just him and Nebula, and they've got to work to get back.
And Nebula should know how to fly the ship. Their ships should still be there because they landed there as well. So, yeah. No, it's the two of them. Probably going to get back to Earth.
I think they're going to fight it first.
I don't think they are.
Because I think it might be like
Tony has no means to fight her off.
Well, not just that. It's going to be, even if it's not like a fist fight, it's going to be a verbal fight.
I think if anything,
they're not going to want to trust each other because one's good, one's bad at first. And
I think
Nebula's going to have to learn to be friends.
I think it's going to be a somewhat...
and trust people.
It's going to be somewhat of an argument. I don't think it's going to be like a heated verbal argument, but it's going to be... Because Tony's not going to be in any condition.
Bickering. Just normal bickering.
Well, it's going to be more of like Tony kind of taking his frustrations out on someone he doesn't know, because he's
being an asshole because Tony's an asshole.
Well, he's gotten better since the first movie about that type of thing. He's still got Tony.
Tony's that guy. He is. The way I'm going to describe it is, and I love Dave. Dave and I are Steve and Tony, where I am the do the right thing Captain America character. He's Iron Man, where he's on the right side, but there's just his personality sometimes.
It's his own way about
how he says things. It's like, dude, you're an asshole, and he knows he's an asshole, and he loves that he's an asshole. Dave will describe himself as a snarky asshole, but that's how it is. Like Dave would be more Tony, I'm more Steve Rogers.
Yeah, I was gonna say though. I mean, it's gonna be that because he's too physically beaten to fight with her physically. He's too emotionally like battered right now because he just lost Peter. It took a heavy toll on him. He feels responsible.
He might think, "Oh, is Pepper okay?"
That too. He's got to think, is this person? He's got a ton of people. Are they okay? Shit. And right now he's focused on Peter because he feels responsible for that.
Yeah.
So he's not going to really be in the mood to actually argue with Nebula, but to like, he's probably going to be an asshole to her because he's taking her aggravations out on her.
Because he's grieving. He's grieving on the spot.
It's the grieving, taking it on someone.
Yeah. Any final thoughts before we're going to move on into another part of this, which will be topic number 2? Any final thoughts on this trailer description? Anything?
No, I want this.
Thought we didn't mention. I can't wait.
I want this now.
From what
I know you're in post-production. Put it out this weekend.
From what I've
Next
heard.
weekend. Whatever.
And we heard because we watched the same video.
Sorry, I didn't mean to yell.
Last year's Avengers.
At the camera.
Last year's Avengers trailer was, I think, November 28th or 24th. So people are thinking it's going to be late November that we get this trailer. So not too long, a month away from when we're recording this. But this is where you guys come in. Let us know down below what you guys think of this trailer description. What do you guys want to see from the first Avengers trailer that we will get for this movie this year?